My sponsor Rock Bottom is currently running a special deal. Head on over to rockbottomcoins.com and use code Zirksee at checkout for a 30% off your order.
The whole thing wobbin', wobbin'. When I come around, got the whole thing wobbin'.
What's going on, guys? It's Zirksee coming at you today with another YouTube video. Today, I'm going to be going over a ton of information. EA actually did a live stream going over all the content updates or gameplay fixes and some other stuff that we have coming out in Madden 20. And with that being said, of course, I have a big list I actually wrote down because they're making a blog, but it's not going to be out until tomorrow. So I'm just going to have to tell you guys everything that they went over. I made sure to write down basically the majority of things. There are a few things that go with franchise. Now, also, before we get into the video, I do want to say one thing, and I am super excited to tell you guys this, that I have officially partnered with a new sponsor to help you guys, and of course, help myself get better at Madden 20. Looking to take your game in Madden 20 to another level? Check out Hot Route Tips and get access to ebooks, tips, and schemes from Madden pros. Use code ZIRK for 10% off. Let's dominate Weekend League. So yes, I have partnered with Hot Route Tips, and they are currently running a special through August 2nd to kind of celebrate them opening up the site. Usually the yearly membership would be $120. Instead, it is only going to be $100 up until August 2nd. And of course, if you guys use code ZIRK, you get an extra 10% off. So if you guys want to go ahead, check it out. Link is in the description if you want to go over to Hot Route Tips. Check it out. There's a ton of pro players. The tips are not for me, obviously, but hopefully with these tips, I will be able to get top 100 Weekend League a lot, and hopefully will help you guys out as well. Gotta say, I'm very excited and expect to see a lot of their schemes and stuff. I'll be running that in a lot of gameplays this year, so be on the lookout for that. With that being said, though, let's go and get into all this information. So first off, you guys can see here, this is actually a screenshot from the franchise mode, and you get to pick which type of ability you actually want in your QB. We have Improviser, Field General, Strong Arm, and Scrambler. Now, I believe I actually only wrote down like one more thing for Connected Franchise, and that was contracts. They talk about contracts a lot. And basically, when it comes to the contracts, something you guys should know is that contracts are kind of based off current contracts for overall players. So Wentz, he just signed a $128 million contract. I believe he's only an 82 overall, and with that, if he's only an 82 overall, other 82 overall quarterbacks will want around that same type of money. So yeah, there's a lot to do with contracts in the next franchise. I'm not really big on it, but I figured I'd write that down for anyone that is interested. Now let's get into some more stuff. So you guys can see here, this is actually a new update to Madden, and it kind of helps us see what's going on with superstar abilities, with X Factor abilities, and I gotta say I actually kind of like this. So basically, instead of seeing the stamina now, when it comes to looking at your players, you will see instead the superstar abilities that you have available. So you can see here the right stick is being held down. You can see Nick Chubb has armbar, Baker Mayfield has last ditch, roaming deadeye, and OBJ has jukebox, grab and go, and he also has the rack 'em up X Factor ability. Now here's the thing though, if you're an offense, you can also see the defense. So if you want to take a look at the players, you can see Derwin James there has reinforcement, unfakeable, and zoned out. And of course, Joey Bosa has unstoppable force, finesse specialist, and edge threat. Personally, I really like this. I think that it's really, really cool, and I think it's a step up from the beta because you would have to pause the game, take a look and see what players exactly have superstar abilities, what players have X Factors, and I think it's actually really, really cool of EA to do. So I gotta say, big props for that. Now here's something though that a lot of people, I was actually in the Twitch live stream, they were going over this, a lot of people did not like this. So as you guys can see, this is for the pre-play on defense. Now, if you're used to playing Madden and you've played Madden for a long time, I personally, I press the right trigger a lot. Because basically what that does is it shows your play art, you can see your zones, you can see the offense, you can see whatever. Now, if you press right trigger, that is how you activate to see that X Factor screen. The left trigger now is going to be to show the play art. And a lot of people in the Twitch chat were just saying, well, why can't you make X Factor the left trigger? I'm not sure why. It's not a huge difference. I mean, it kind of will be known a little bit, but you'll get used to it pretty quickly in my opinion. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And also, it's the same thing for the offense side of the ball. Right trigger, once again, is going to be for the X Factor. Left trigger will be to show the play art. Pass protection left bumper and fake snap on the right bumper. Now, I also have a ton of info about actual gameplay changes, what they've done to the game, so let me go ahead and tell you guys this big list. So, let's start off with the pass rush. So, they did not change the pass rush at all. Of course, this is basically the first update they made from the beta. Pass rush has not been changed. User-controlled block and release for the tight end, though, is a new mechanic that will be coming in. So, essentially, you'll put a tight end on a block and release, and you can actually hit that tight end's button at any time to release them. But the awareness of that tight end will actually affect how quickly they release. So if you have a tight end with 60 awareness, he might not release as soon as you hit his button. If you have a tight end with 99 or 95, whatever, he's going to release pretty dang quickly. Now, there is a limit to this. I believe it is up to 5 seconds or 3 seconds. He didn't exactly say. He said 3 to 5 seconds. Limit on when you can press the button. So I'd imagine after 3 to 5 seconds, he instantly will release. This is kind of something they mentioned in order to counter the pass rush. They didn't feel like tuning it at all, which honestly, I played the beta. It was pretty bad at first, but then you kind of get used to it, and I think that a lot of people get used to it as well. There will also be a second blocking mechanic, which will be released in a future title update sometime. I'm not sure exactly what they're going to do there. There was actually no change to passing animations. Now, personally, I feel as though there should have been a slight change to passes like drags or slants. I feel as though short routes, you still have to wind up to throw, which makes 0 sense to me. Most QBs could literally underhand throw that, a drag route or something. So I feel as though they should change that, and hopefully they will change that at some point with just the short throws. Make them quicker, because honestly, if there's a pass rush coming in your face, you essentially have to throw it immediately, or you're not going to be the ball. If you see someone, if you like immediately a snap, if a safety or a corner or a linebacker's coming in free, and you don't immediately press a button when you get the ball in your hands, you're going to take a sack. So that's why I think that should be changed. Man coverage has been tuned. So, cut moves on post and corner routes are now actually better, I believe, for the wide receivers, but man will actually better react after the press. So, if they're going to an out route or something and they press, then your man coverage should actually play a little bit better. Unfortunately, there was no change to zones, which I gotta say, the zone coverages in the beta, I feel as though definitely should have been tuned a little bit. You could repeatedly throw a slant route right in front of a linebacker, and as long as your receiver's right there, the linebacker's not going to intercept. And I played with some very, very good linebackers, very high zone coverage, and still, none of them were able to even make a play on the ball. So to me, I feel as though zones should definitely be changed and updated, because I feel like you can just force balls wherever you want, and there's really not much you can do about it. Now, there was also a bunch of handoff bugs. I believe about 90% of those have been fixed. Now, the remainder will be fixed shortly after launch again with another title update. Now, there was also a legal man downfield. A lot of people were saying about RPO, saying that maybe it's a little bit glitchy. They did not change that at all. The only thing they did was basically say RPOs, you kind of have to make a quick read or just hand the ball off. Otherwise, you will get that penalty of an illegal man downfield. Personally, I like that because, again, zones don't really work too well, honestly. So if you just throw the slant alert one, you're probably going to catch it about 90% of the time, unless you bring a safety down and put them right in between them or your user in right there. It's very, very hard to stop. So the illegal man downfield definitely will try to counteract that, I guess. Pass leading tuned slightly to make leading more accurate. So basically, when it comes to pass leading in the beta, it was pretty bad. If you try to throw to your outside shoulder, inside shoulder, it was pretty inaccurate a lot of the times. They did fix that a little bit to make it more accurate, and I believe they also said, I think they said they might also do another update to that and fix a couple more throws from that. There was actually a glitch during the beta, which I didn't even realize. Conductor in the beta on Tom Brady could be used for unlimited hot routes before you got to the line of scrimmage. So that's pretty crazy. I didn't know about that. And they fixed that finally to just 2 times faster, which is what it's supposed to be with Conductor. So unfortunately, all you people that love Tom Brady in the beta because of the glitch, that glitch is no longer going to be there. Now, also, there was a glitch where the quarterback would dive down during a play, and the play would not be called dead, but the defenders would actually stop trying to tackle the QB. They also fixed that. Stiff arm. I know a lot of people were saying stiff arm was probably the most OP stiff arm they've ever seen, especially from Todd Gurley. They did put a stamina penalty on stiff arm. So if you're sitting there and you're just running, but you're spamming the stiff arm, you will start to see your stamina start to drain. So that's actually really, really good, and hopefully will stop people from using stiff arm so much, because geez, that thing was OP. I still feel like if you just get on MUT and use Energizer and you hit stiff arm, you're probably still going to be good. And also, if you successfully land a stiff arm, it will take away from your stamina as well. Fumbles have been decreased, but only on simulation mode. So simulation mode, I don't even know what game mode is simulation. I know if you're playing like head to head, you're usually on competitive mode. So unless you like set the game to simulation for some reason, then you probably won't even notice that 50% decrease to fumbles on simulation mode. Now there are going to be the same amount of title updates in Madden 20, they said, because that's just a scheduled thing they have. So expect to see a title update probably every single month, but they said they are not going to fix as much to kind of prevent mess ups, because if you guys noticed last year, basically every single patch they came out with, if they tried to fix a big gameplay issue, it would eventually just end up with something else breaking that in my opinion was much worse. I feel as though the launch version of Madden 20 or Madden 19 was not terrible. There was a few things that need to be fixed, but then eventually every single time they dropped the beta, something or an update, something would get just completely screwed up. So they are going to try to stay away from that in Madden 20, which personally I like it. Again, one thing I would change is the short throws. I think you should increase the QB throwing animation because it's just way too slow for short throws. That's the only thing I would say. Now also, they are going to be doing a MUT live stream, so we will be getting some news on Madden Ultimate Team on this upcoming Monday. I believe it's 7 p.m. So it's going to be kind of a late night stream. Apparently it's like a 2-hour live stream. So I will probably make a video right after that stream goes live, going over everything in there. And we will also be getting the MUT ratings next week, I believe on Monday as well. So the MUT database should probably be out sometime in the morning on Monday, maybe like noonish or so. And then later in the afternoon, they will be releasing the MUT live stream. Unless for some reason, because the database is going to be out, they want to delay everything and maybe just push the MUT ratings way later in the day, like after the live stream, so maybe like 10 p.m. or something. I'll be on the lookout for that. But that is all the news that I have on the updates made to Madden 20 before we even get the game. With that being said though, make sure you guys smack the like button and of course hit that sub button down below. Make sure you guys turn that notification bell on so you do not miss any single update, because they're going to be releasing a lot of information very soon. And of course, check out Hot Route Tips. And if you guys want to take your game to the next level, just like I do, and hopefully we can both end up at top 100 weekend league. You guys know I'm usually like an 18-win guy. So I'm hoping after, say, a couple weeks, in the first month or so of me labbing these ebooks, I can eventually just stick around in top 100 and get a lot better rewards. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.